What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Gainz Podcast.
Episode 29, right? Or is this 30?
I think
Wait,
it's
no,
30.
this is. Oh, snap.
Yay!
Look at that. The 30th episode.
Yeah, we got something special for you today, folks.
And I haven't done an intro in 3 weeks. I don't know what's going I don't know if I'm getting booted off the show or what. What, Roman, can you tell me what's going on? Am I going to get booted?
I think we're rebranding. We're looking to push Antoine out and move Sam into Antoine's position.
I like it.
Oh my gosh. But we have this is, I guess, what you want to call our teaser. So Roman and I have been working on trying to, get some guests on the board and, obviously bring a little bit more different content because you guys might be, I don't think they're bored of Roman and I, but, just in case, we have to spice things up here and there. But we wanted to go ahead and start, bring this opportunity on interviewing different people and different types of people, as well as, down the line, maybe bring some certain specialists, certain types of people within the fitness realm. So who we have here today is... let me let her introduce herself, and then we'll definitely get into it.
Hi, I'm Samantha Coletta. Antoine's wife.
Awesome. So what we wanted to do is Roman and I, especially with Sam being on the call today, we wanted to get a new face on the Gainz podcast. Get a good idea on how Sam kind of, has fitness into her lifestyle. What does fitness mean to her? All these kind of questions to kind of get a good idea on what people are doing today. Because what she does today is not the same thing that Roman and I do. When we were in the gym, I'm not even going to be talking. I'm not doing this. Let me get some questions for Sam. Roman, I have some questions in my head. Let's throw this thing in 360. Let's get a question from Roman. Roman, this is Roman's first time meeting Sam. Actually, it's been so prolonged, and I want to get him because I know Sam's shy, and I know Roman has never talked to her in person. So I want to throw Roman at the board and get him on the board first.
Oh man.
Sweet. Yeah. So we really appreciate you coming on today, Sam. Especially for our honorary first guest. So this is pretty huge. So Antoine and I, we've shared on the Gainz podcast before, like what our particular motivations are, what our goals are with like fitness, working out, like picking things up, putting them down, all that fun stuff. It's pretty cool to have a partner that like goes to the gym and lifts with you. I'm lucky that I have Laura and she likes to, she does do different things than I'll do, but like for the most part, like sometimes like we'll work out together. Other times like she does her own programming. It's like super cool. She like is just like very intuitive. She's like a really like talented athlete. What brings you to like the gym when we're not like immersed in a global pandemic and we can actually go to the gym? Like what like motivates you to go to the gym? What kind of things do you like to do in the gym? Let's start with that.
Yeah.
So, well, when we were going to the gym still and everything, I think I was a lot more into powerlifting, and that was kind of a newer thing to me too, which Antoine got me into. And I just like loved it from the start. I always loved trying something new. So that was all like brand new, and I started like doing really good, and I was hitting new high numbers, and like that got me really excited. So like I would train with him and he'd help me out. Even you and him wrote up plans for both of us, which was cool. And I always wanted to keep bettering in that. Now with the situation as it is, and not having the equipment that we used to have and all that, I kind of lost that I want to power lift kind of thing. So I switched it up and I tried something else that I have never done before. I've been doing like HIIT and EMOM, and I've even been throwing some yoga in there for the past couple months, and I'm like obsessed with those now.
That's so cool. That's really cool. And you're like a pretty beast powerlifter. Like I hear you have a pretty tank deadlift. Could you share that with our listeners?
My PR in deadlift was 335.
335. That's insane. That's so good.
At in around 132 pounds.
Heck yeah.
So,
that's verging on like Steffi Cohen level.
And you
really
know
cool.
what? I'll get that motivation back again to powerlift. I just don't have it in me right now.
Yeah.
She does follow Steffi Cohen on Instagram, guys.
I do.
Nice. Very cool. What about you, Antonio? Fire question.
So can you give us like an idea? So since you said EMOM, HIIT training, yoga, what are the sessions like when it comes? I mean, you said before when we're in the gym, we're doing more of a powerlifting style training, but now since we're working out at home, now what is like the week by week? Like, are you switching things off? Like, are you doing HIIT and yoga on the same day? Like, what does the schedule look like when we're working out at home?
So I'll usually do 2 HIIT workouts right off the back in the beginning of the week. So that'll be like a Monday. We usually take Tuesdays off. So it'll be a Monday, Wednesday will be a HIIT days. Those are generally like 40-minute sessions for me with a warm up and cool down. And then I'll take a yoga session the next day, Thursday. And then I'll go back to back EMOM sessions Friday and Saturday. And then I'll do a yoga. And then the HIIT yoga with the breaks after the 2 EMOMs are HIIT.
She meant Sunday, by the way, not Saturday. We don't work out Saturdays and Tuesdays.
I get all my days confused right now.
For people who don't know what EMOM is, can you kind of introduce what EMOM is?
Yeah, so that stands for every minute on the minute. So you'll have a list of workouts that you're going to do, like burpees, 20 burpees. You start your clock, you do those 20 burpees, whatever time remaining you have left in that minute is your rest. And then you go on to the next set. I usually do 40 minutes of that, but I'll have like 6 to 7 different workouts thrown in there. But that's how an EMOM works.
And you'll do that, will you do like it in sets of rounds where you'll do like a round, then like give it like 30-second break, like a minute break? Are you going like...
Yeah, no. Definitely. I'll do like, when I'm feeling good, I'll do 5 rounds of it. So, but yeah, definitely with like a solid break after each round.
Nice. Okay, cool. And then how do you, that's really cool. That's like, I've never heard somebody program like that, but that's some like high level shit right there. So that's like really cool that you've like figured it out that way. Do you have like an emphasis when you do like an EMOM day, like upper, lower, or is it like a body part split, or is it kind of like whatever you like? Yeah. How do you organize that?
Right now, in the past couple months, I've only been doing like full body every single time.
Okay.
So I might change that, because I've noticed like on my yoga days, I'm extremely sore, like I'm worn out. So I might change that, throw in just like upper body or just lower body and switch it up that way to try it out. Well, right now I've just been doing all of my workouts have been full body.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then you were doing full body with me when we were in the gym, right? Because I think we did 10. I want to say when everyone. If you guys have been listening, obviously I've been doing the full body training 5 days a week. I think it was like 10 weeks in the gym. And then, I mean, maybe that's why you're doing it right now, or I think you were just trying to, you do full body no matter what.
Yeah. Right. Like, since this is all so new to me, I've just really been looking up some people that I follow and their workouts that they'll post on either YouTube or Instagram, whatever, and I'll follow those so I can get the hang of it, figure out what it all was. And I think I'm at the point now where I could probably start like writing my own workouts for myself, because I know like what should be included and what EMOM means, because I had no idea, but now I do. So I think I could finally like put something together of my own if I wanted to.
That's really cool. Do you build in like certain like degrees or levels of progression, or do you let it come more organic? Like for example, like certain like single joint exercises that I might do, like a lot of my exercise like routines have been very like bodybuilding focused recently. I let a lot of the progressions come just like naturally. I might like add in a set if I feel like the level of soreness is like well within like my degree of like recoverability. But do you have like an organic degree of progression, meaning that like I'm sure your burpees like are beast mode compared to like when we started this, you know? So do you let that happen just like organically, or do you kind of like build it into like each like week or like through like a mesocycle or whatever it might be?
I think a lot of it has just progressed organically. What's nice is the videos that I have been following. There's always like a modification. If you can't do this, well, do this instead. It's the easier one. Or they'll even have like a third modification that's, if this is too easy, do this, which is really nice too. And a lot of the times I do find myself doing the easier one because I'm not used to this kind of like pressure and stuff like that. So that way I can progress. But other than that, a lot of it's just been pretty fluid.
That's really cool.
So, obviously I know this answer, but because of the working out from home and staying home, Roman and I have been talking about like, hey, because you're at home, try to do things that you don't usually do in the gym, get better at, stretching. I mean, obviously you're trying to do, more of that work within like yoga, trying to get in those positions where like normally you and I don't do like in the gym. What's like one thing that you're trying to perfect, and which is pretty interesting and you haven't really done? If you know what I'm talking about.
The all famous handstand.
Okay. Okay,
We've
exactly
been working on that like every day, me and Antoine, and I'm really good at it. I've got the handstand part down, so my neck, well, against a wall. Let me put that. I don't have it down completely, but I think I could do it. But I also want to get the strength after I can do it without the wall there, to like start walking.
Heck yeah, that's really cool.
My goal for the end of quarantine.
Nice.
Yeah, as you can mention, she hasn't mentioned really my progress because I could barely get to the wall. I get my whole body up, and she said my hips don't like fall back to like, I don't know, maybe I kick my legs so high up where I hit the wall, my hips don't go far back, so I just kick the wall and bounce off, where I can't find that balance yet, but it's pretty interesting. But no, she's killing it. She's doing like, like 10-second plus holds where, she's like holding herself up. So that's pretty cool. That's why I wanted to have you bring it up, because I think it's always better for us to get better at something else while we're in this situation, right? So
absolutely, that's really cool. We talked a lot about like specificity on this channel and like how that like may or may not like translate into like helping you like achieve a certain goal. What kind of like accessory movements are you like introducing into like your weekly routine to help you with like achieving that goal? So like, for example, like, are you incorporating any type of like, I know I've seen Antoine, you all have like it looks like a kind of like a pendulum based like shoulder press. Do you incorporate anything along those lines, or like yeah, I guess my question like broadly is like what degree of like specificity are you implementing towards like working on that fitness goal?
Can I get another example?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a weird question.
I get like, I don't know, would
so he's asking,
like, I don't know.
No, he's asking like, say like, when you got introduced like squat, bench, deadlift, like what, like, how we would do like RDLs, or how would we do like single leg RDLs or hamstring curl to strengthen the lower peripherals to build the deadlift? Like, like, is there any steps that you're taking to build like the handstand per se, like, eventually where you want the goal to be a handstand without the wall, and be able to hold your core strength up, with your hands. Is that what you're trying to ask, right, Roman?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I get the question now, but I don't really know how to pinpoint a specific thing.
Do you think that are you saying like the yoga is helping? Because that's the one thing she was telling me, that like maybe like some of the poses or movements of yoga would help me get that balance and learn that movement of a handstand, because I don't do that. All I'm doing is, after I'm training, like messing around, like I'm putting my hands on the floor and trying to like kick my legs up. That's like the only specific training I'm doing right now.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess I'm curious so like there's like some people, there's like some like specificity purists, you might call them, that would say that like the only way you can get better at movement is to like just practice that movement. But then we also know that there's like a significant amount of like risk reduction when it comes to like injury, like for sport, by just like performing resistance exercise training, whether it's like body weight or with some sort of like implement like barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell. So I guess like what I was like trying to get at in like a very fumbly kind of way is so like any like, it sounds like everything you're doing is like super cool and like a very unique like program. So like yoga might allow like better like scapular like gliding, and you might like find you're able to get into like better positions. I was just like wondering like what like specific movements you're incorporating that you've found like are helping you get into those positions. Because like, for example, just like holding like a handstand like position, like some people cannot get that like that same degree of flexion in the shoulder. So like just to hold that, sometimes that's a limiting factor for people. So
are you making fun of Billy right now? Where he's like this.
Oh no!
What was the lady saying at the CrossFit gym?
He couldn't hang with straight arms.
The abs, right?
Yeah, we're doing like feet to face, or like head or knees to chest, and he couldn't hang straight up. So what? Yeah. So back to the question, Sam. Like, do you have like any of those like specific things that you're doing right now that's correlating straight to the handstands goal?
I think mostly just the yoga portion of what I'm doing, because I don't know, like that I guess is giving me more. I think I was like, I didn't find trouble with like the arms up or anything like that. Is generally fine to me. I guess like my wrists, and Antoine and him too, like after we do like a 5 or 6 handstands after our workouts, like they're definitely sore, which I do like stretch them out a lot during a lot of my yoga poses and stuff. So that would probably be the only thing I can think of.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So yeah, like flexion of like the wrist is like helping. Yeah.
Very neat.
So question real quick. So after all this like working out from home and whatnot, maybe eventually, when we get back to the gym, or when we do, now, is this something that you're going to do at the gym, or maybe as like, like maybe hit the big 3 and then do this at home? Like, do you have anything built out that you're going to do like when you go back to the gym, or?
I won't do the stuff that I'm doing at home at the gym, because I love the workouts that we were doing at the gym. So once I go back to the gym, I'm for sure going to want to be like lifting again and stuff like that. I probably won't like just completely drop all this stuff. I might do like one less day at the gym and still incorporate like 2 yoga days throughout my week or something like that.
That's really cool.
Can you please describe your yoga mat that you just bought to the fans out there? What kind of yoga mat do you have?
It's covered in donuts, all different flavors.
There's like an Instagram guy that I follow. He's got plates that look like pizza,
What?
Oh, I can't think of his name. Yeah. I'll
That
just
is
send him
cool
over
as
to you,
hell.
buddy. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you two both have some like pretty cool and like ambitious goals when it comes to like fitness and like maybe like incorporating it into like your professional life. You've had your PT cert at one point, right, Sam?
I have not, no.
Okay. Okay. Have you studied ACE? I thought Antoine had mentioned that you like studied under ACE. I could be totally like mistaken.
Maybe me, because I held a certification in
Okay.
ACE.
Okay.
But yeah, what I probably told you was we might do NASM this year.
Okay.
But let Sam talk. She said maybe? Question mark?
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
That was like supposed to be our gift to each other at the wedding, was we would both buy each other the NASM certification.
Okay.
But the idea was kind of hindered because she's never worked at a gym, but like her goal was to like, because she was working two jobs, and her goal was, she's done with the other job right now. But see, the thing is, since of all this going on, she wanted to get like, like a sales slash front desk job at a gym to see how like gyms operate and get the idea from there first. But I'm guessing that was kind of like, maybe that's why the hold off was, or am I not saying that right?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I'll just have to wait and see. Like,
Yeah.
maybe when everything opens back up again, I'll like be like, oh yeah, let's do this. But right now, I'm just kind of on hold with it.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's really cool. Nice. And then I've heard like mention like whispers in the hallway of maybe looking at like a gym or something like that. Would that be like an ultimate dream or like goal of yours, or like the both of yours? And like what would that look like?
100%. That's like the ultimate dream right there. Antoine?
You're the guest. I'm not supposed to be talking. I don't even do intros anymore.
I
don't
mean,
even know.
even like with like maybe like a year or two ago, we even like started looking into empty warehouses and like trying to like put together numbers and like okay, how big of a dream is this really,
Yeah.
But no, it's still super exciting to think about, and that'd be freaking awesome. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's hard to say. We're still like so young and whatnot.
Right.
Like we're trying to work on like wealth accumulation and like just making sure like we pay the bills and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get paid.
Just generally interested about that. Cool. What do you think, buddy? Anything that our listeners, you think that would be like really valuable for them to know about you as a lifter, as a person that's like passionate about fitness?
I've got one question probably, because since I don't want to ruin next week's surprise, but since you are a woman by sex, female, what would be the one thing you would suggest? Like, let's just say for some reason a lady just popped in the Gainz Podcast episode 30 and they saw your face and they're like, wow, so it's not just men on this podcast. Like, sweet. What advice slash like what would be like a first like advice for a female lifter that's lifting for the first time, or like anything that you would say to them if this is like their first time hearing from like a woman talking about lifting instead of just men always talking about lifting and all that good stuff?
I guess my advice would be to keep moving, like keep trying different things. There are so many things out there. I did powerlifting. It's gonna hurt. There's all that. You might love the hurt, you might hate it and be like, all right, I'm not gonna lift. But then try something else. Try the HIIT workouts, try yoga, anything. There's so many, CrossFit, anything, endless options out there. Just do something. You'll fall in love with one of them. You have to have the passion for it and the motivation to do it, and you'll be good.
Wow. You hear that?
Mic drop.
Roman, I've been trying to think this whole time too. I really like that answer, by the way. But the one thing I'm trying to since we're trying to get guests on the podcast, I'm trying to get one of those weird questions where like they find out a little bit more, but like, you know, it's like, hey, would you rather eat donuts or cupcakes? Like, we need a question.
You can do the default Mark Bell question. You know what it is?
Pancakes or waffles?
No, weirder.
Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, man.
If you had to pick your favorite lift, what would it be and why? It could be a bicep curl. It could be a handstand. What would be your favorite movement and why? And why should people do it?
My favorite is definitely a deadlift. Because there's alterations. I don't know if that's the right word. You know, there's sumo, there's the other one. Conventional. And then it's like it's using like everything in your body. It's like a full body strength workout. So good for you. I always feel so good after. I get pumped for deadlifts. Like, I don't get pumped for anything else. I still do them, but I'm not pumped for them like I am for deadlifts.
Heck yeah.
Do you feel like you can lift the world when you deadlift? Like, do you feel like the gravity might get changed eventually?
I do. I really do.
I don't know what else, Robert. I don't know if there any other like. Was that weird enough, or?
That's pretty good. Did you watch Dragon Ball Z growing up at all, Sam?
No.
No. Oh, shit. All right. Never mind.
Maybe if it was a SpongeBob reference.
I got you on SpongeBob references.
Oh, snap. But SpongeBob, he like puts pillows on barbells. Sam puts like actual like 45-pound plates.
I think one time she tried using inflatable arms to look bigger. I think that might be it. Awesome. Well, anything else you want to share, Sam, before we let you go? I mean, we anything you want to say? Anything you want to say? Your last words on the Gainz podcast? Because I might not be returning next week.
Oh, you're losing your job. Just thanks for having me on. It's your first, whatchamacallit?
First guest appearance?
Yep, that's it.
Do you want to shout out like your any social media to like maybe help out, like if anyone wants to reach out? Do you want to maybe just do Instagram? I don't know. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, you can shout out to my Instagram.
What's your handle?
Samrod_93. And if you're interested, if I do end up writing any of my own HIIT workouts, yoga, EMOM, I'll try to record. And if you're interested, you can check them out.
That'd be awesome.
And no, not you perverts out there that's going to go and follow his Instagram. I will find you. Awesome. Well, Roman, anything else you want to go say before we end this thing?
That was great. Thanks for coming on and being our first guest. You did
a
great job, Sam.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in for another one. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Make sure to go like, follow, subscribe, and peace.